Yes, I'm going to be the MC today and make sure we have a great day together. So today's headline is the mainnet launch of Ontology, the pre-launch. And we're going to have some talks around that. We're also going to have an intro speak and some talks from some Ontology partners. So the launch of a mainnet is always a major milestone of any given blockchain projects. It's where they go from the testnet into deploying the mainnet. And let's just get the first speaker on. He is founder of NEO and CEO and co-founder of Onchain. Please welcome Hongfei.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is my great honor to speak here to such a brilliant audience, to among the smartest people here in the area that many of the greatest invention of technology business happened. And this morning, the first speech of this Blockchain Connect event, the first one is from Andy Tan. He keeps asking that audience, is there any parents in the audience? And I think it's a good analogy to the pre-launch of mainnet. So the launch of a mainnet is like to give birth to a newborn baby. And usually it is a mixed feeling with excitedness and also nervousness. It's easy to understand. People will be very excited, and they will be very nervous. I used to be very nervous about the launch of a mainnet of Ontology, but I do have lots of periodical meetings with the technical team every few weeks. And I get very confident right now that the launch will be very successful. These days, we saw many grading reports of public blockchains, and the recurring theme of reports on Ontology is this project is too ambitious. It is uncertain whether they can deliver what they promised in their white paper. But I am in full confidence that we will deliver what we said in the white paper. And I believe the newborn baby will be healthy, spirited, and vital. We have some very novel new consensus mechanism called VBFT. It's a new kind of consensus mechanism that supports thousands of consensus nodes reaching the same states. And it will result in that we have exceptional throughput. We can achieve thousands of transactions per second, which will outperform almost all other public blockchains. And also we have a very original smart contract system. It's called NEO contract, which is also used in NEO. And recently we set up a joint task force to unify all the interface. So if you are a new blockchain developer, you can also develop on top of Ontology. And we support different languages, including Python, C#, Go, and JavaScript to do smart contract on Ontology. And I would also like to take this opportunity to thank the community of Ontology and also those co-builders, including Danhua Capital, Sequoia, Matrix, Pre-Angel, Zenfund, and many others. Without your support, there won't be an Ontology project like today. And we have a great lineup this afternoon ahead. Li Jun will do a speech after me, and he will introduce Ontology, the project, and the future of Ontology, followed by 4 ecosystem projects. They are DAD, the Distributed Advertisement Network, and second is CarBlock. It's a blockchain-based transportation solution, and also COT, or Chain of Things, where blockchain meets IoT devices. And last but not least is Contentos. It's a blockchain-based platform for digital contents like video, audio, or pictures. So ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank you again for coming here for this afternoon, and I wish you will enjoy this event. Thank you.
Thank you. So next up we have the main headline for today. It is the pre-launch of Ontology Mainnet. For that we have co-founder of Onchain and founder of Ontology. Please welcome Li Jun.
Good afternoon, everyone, and very warm welcome to coming to Ontology event here for pre-launch. For the Ontology project kickoff last year, we're also in America, in New York, and also in Silicon Valley to do that. And very well happy after half years, we have prepared for our version 1 mainnet pre-launch. And I want to quickly introduce what is Ontology is doing and what we have done and what kind of things we are doing and what kind of things we will do in the future. So Ontology, the name, Chinese name is called Benti. Maybe you can learn the plans. Next time you can introduce Ontology. Okay, Chinese name is Benti. And I'm a founder of Ontology and co-founder of Onchain as well. First of all, I want to talk about a very small question before introduce Ontology. I just have a presentation in the Blockchain Connect, the main house. And the currently blockchain industry or technology is become mainstream or not? From my point of view, it's quite unfortunately. The answer maybe is not. Because when you review, you check your daily life and your business process, how many application, how many scenario is running dependent on blockchain? Almost zero. So that means we are very hot in digital assets areas. But if you want to become a mainstream net in technology or mainstream industry like internet today, you need impact or at least support more and more real scenario to do that. But blockchain infrastructure want to support a real business scenario is not so easy. Maybe you think it's easy. Okay, we can quickly support different real scenario be there. But when you want to do that, it's not so easy things. Actually, we are doing that. We find a lot of difficulty for that. So Ontology, what Ontology want to do? We want to do a new infrastructure that can integrate centralized service and decentralized service with a decentralized mechanism. That is blockchain new infrastructure. We want to those kind of infrastructure can be a bridge linked to the real business world. You can use the platform to running the real business scenario on that, not only digital assets, also other digital scenario. So that is Ontology want to do, link to the real world. So, but when you review the things, the public blockchain currently, they have a lot of successful current the blockchain already. Like we have the currency, we have the smart contracts. So the public blockchain already doing a lot of things right now. But a lot of challenges coming. When you want to support a real business scenario, you'll find many issues or many challenges you are facing. Two of them, one is definitely everybody will think about is performance. How to support a real business scenario in large scope. Performance is quite big issues in currently facing. Another is actually more important than performance. It's different kind of real business scenario. They have specific requirements, not only decentralized application level. They need a very deep level. They need a very specific customization for the deep level. They have their governance modules. They need new consensus modules, even different policy, prevention policy. How to do the deeply customization for those kind of the requirements based on a single stable public blockchain. It's a challenge in next phase. So that is why we want to do the Ontology new platform to do that, to want to help for those kind of challenge. So Ontology in the infrastructure level, we are working for two directions. One is, of course, mentioned is performance issue. Another is different business requirements. So performance issues, we are designing new architecture is called chain network. We are not running one single public blockchain. In the version 1, we will be a single public blockchain. But in the future, we will be flexible in plussing more and more public blockchain in there to become a chain network. The public blockchain can have the blockchain private public service like the identity, digital assets, and the smart contract. Also can have some specific application chains or business chains. They can focus on different areas, IoT or smart supply chain or the content or the others kind of different scenarios. They can base the different scenario, build their own business blockchain to support that, and use the protocols to work together, integrate different chains together to do that. The protocols, currently we are talking about the interchain protocols, mostly is talking about the digital assets exchange. But in a real business scenario, maybe need different protocols to support different scenarios, like the identity mapping or data exchange, etc. So we need those kind of mechanism, protocol group, and the chain, public blockchain, and the multiple blockchains to build the chain network. So that is ontology infrastructure. If we have those kind of infrastructure or architecture design, is that good enough? Still not. The bridge is still not coming. That's owning infrastructure. The bridge is another level in ontology does the public platform for distributed trust ecosystem. What is distributed trust ecosystem? There are maybe multiple, several different common modules can support the real business scenario to link that. For example, the identity. You have distributed identity to link the real business scenario. Another, you need to have the data exchange and the reputation system and the contract and the signature service. All those can link to the real business scenario or real legal system in different areas. That means when you do the transaction in the blockchain, you also, if necessary, you also can be supported by the different legal system in the real business case. For example, we also talk about the example I just mentioned is tokenize everything. We can tokenize the table, become a token, and you can transfer the token to your friends. But when the friends want to get a table from you, you can reject that. Okay, I don't want to give you a table. I only give you the table token. So how to get help for those situations to your friends? They will not find the help from blockchain platform. They will find policy, find the lawyer, find the legal system in different countries, different areas. So when you want to tokenize everything, you have those kind of bridge can link to the real business, real legal system to support you for this part. So that's why ontology have two version roadmap. One is chain network, is new kind of infrastructure. Another is trust ecosystem. Those two need to work together, integrated together, as the platform can really support real business on blockchain. So that is ontology going to do. And ontology version 1 will be launched by the end of this month. And ontology is 1.0. In the ontology version 1, we will check the product architecture with 3 kind of product metrics. They have 3 levels. Ontology infrastructure includes ontology blockchains. Where blockchains means there will be multiple blockchains. In the initial phase, we will single one, but we will add more public blockchain be here. Ontology blockchain framework is kind of open source framework. You can use the framework to build your own customized public blockchain with different consensus model, with different storage mechanism, even different peer-to-peer protocol. You can, based on your business requirement, design your own blockchain and use interaction protocols to work together with other blockchains, join ontology chain network to work together to support the real business scenario in large scope. And the second level is lots of different module support, just I mentioned. That is bridge linked to the real world. The identity, OntID is a distributed identity framework. That is not an identity vendor. Is identity framework means you can link different data source or verification source from centralized source or decentralized source, from governments, company, university, or from community, from your friends, from your family. Everyone can be verification vendors to prove for ourselves. Build your own trust package to prove yourself in different business scenarios. And those kind of pass package and framework not only used for people, also can use for objects, things, and content, the video, audio, picture, or content article, all can use those kind of identity to build the trust for different kinds of entities. That is Ontology is doing. This module already included, first version already included in the Ontology version 1. Will be launched by the end of this month. You can use Ontology identity to build your own trust package for that. And based on that, we have distributed data exchange protocols. Use distributed data exchange protocols, you can easily build your own data exchange for different industry. For example, for financial data, or the medical data, or the other insurance data. You can build your data exchange. Use Ontology data exchange protocols. And you can easily got the runtime settlement, runtime data transfer. And Ontology skills is distributed reputation system. Currently, reputation, the credit score is very useful thing, but currently you have everyone just a few credit score. In China, in US is similar. But once you can connect to your different data source, you can easily build different rating logic and generate different rating system, reputation system. And you can use different credit scores to prove yourself in different scenarios. And we have the basic infrastructure and the protocol. You can put your logic, build your own reputation evaluation process and the logic based on that. And in the version 1, we also have several common applications based on that. On2 is the integrated client application, have a mobile application. They can manage your digital assets, manage your identity, manage your data, and manage your different transaction and data exchange scenarios in one application easily. And TSE, Trust Search Engine, they will be launched in Q3. And Trust Search Engine is more like a Google search engine. You can search out people, surveys, and content information in Ontology network. The difference is you can easily to verify that the information is true or not, good or bad, automatically. So that means you can find the information, be a filter, trust filter, to feed the trust information. DDX just the data exchange framework. You can build your own data exchange based on that. So that is Ontology version 1, the product matrix. And every quarter, we will have new information, new modules release. We'll have a new version release. So that means we have every 3 months, we will have a new version. That is version 1 we got by the end of this month. Okay, we'll talk about the ecosystem. The trust mechanism, we want to integrate different trust source. Currently, the blockchain trust source is from technology, based on technology. We want to integrate it from the real world, that means the centralized trust source, from legal system, from the governments, from university, from company. And also we want to integrate the trust from community, your social networking, and your friends, your family. Every people can be the trust source for others. We will integrate all those trust sources as in one decentralized platform. You can use that mechanism easily to build the trust package. That is Ontology want to support for different issues. I don't want to take too details about that, just the trust case. And for the ecosystem support, and everyone just mentioned, you are not only user for Ontology platform, you also service private Ontology. You can private different server just by yourself to prove the others, and also can be the developers to develop new application and to build your business scenario Ontology, and also you can be the service private. We're already talking to a lot of the service private. They were private verification service and other kind of security service Ontology to be an infrastructure for support your application, your business scenario easily. You needn't to care about the common modules. You can only focus on your business and your application, and also cover different industry products. And I don't want to take up a lot of the technical details, just to mention some design of architecture that highlights several points. One is, of course, chain network design. It's a new architecture for public blockchain. We will have multiple public blockchains and to private service. And also we can customize for our partners and specific business chain for different business scenario or industry, and to link together to do the cooperation together to provide the integrated service. That is chain network architecture designed for that. And the governance models, we have a new governance models, consensus models, consensus model system. That will can cover sovereign nodes joining the consensus models. And they can get a different network, different layer network, and to join the consensus models. We want to find the balance between decentralized and performance. There's no magic, no magic. You can want to get both. You don't want, okay, I have a very, very decentralized service and also have a very high performance. When you get something, you will lost something. Maybe people will tell you about their advantage, but not tell you about what kind of cost they are for this point. But we want to find balance. Currently, those kind of mechanism can support sovereign nodes joining the consensus mechanism, and the performance still keeps a high performance. I will mention about the performance testing in the first version. The new consensus mechanism called VBFT, they have integrated POS, VRFT, and BFT port. That is the one of first public blockchain have implemented, include the VRF functionality to the consensus model already. We have tested that in the testnet, have several months. And you can got open source, already open source. You can check the source code and check the design if you're interested in this part. The highlight is you can quickly get the final stage and also with a high performance, and also can support the large consensus node to join the whole consensus mechanism. And the smart contracts, just I have mentioned, Neo and Ontology, we are building a new standard for smart contracts based on NeoVM. And we will support a lot of different language, mainstream language, to develop a smart contract based on that. We will provide very good IDE and the testing and the security tools to build the smart contracts on the new standards. And we will enhance the VM to become very safe and very useful and very strong, very powerful virtual machine. Currently, already be proved virtual machine only EVM and NeoVM. So we have the confidence they will be very important, the VM, the technology mechanism, and even standard in the futures. And talk about the performance. The performance testing not from our team, not from our lab. It's totally from the technical community. Just download the open source from GitHub. You can do that. You can repeat the testing by yourself as well in a very normal environment, hardware environment. And the TPS already more than 5,000. And those kind of modules still not include some enhanced mode module like the parallel execution, sharding, and the chain network. Only single chain and the BFT base is quite high performance. So since a lot of enhanced module will coming, so that is performance is just beginning. Next, the security auditing. We actually have currently already have the 3 company, the security audit company for us. And we also have a security team, internal in-house. We have put a lot of money, efforts, engineering, and team for the equity. But equity never have a 100% safe. But we have put lots of efforts for the security checking. And that will be a long-term strategy. We will continually put more efforts, more money, more team for the security auditing to let people to make sure you can have a safe environment to running your application, to running your digital assets, to running your scenario. That is what we are doing for right now. And on 2, their version will be launched in early next month. They are integrated, just mentioned, you can manage your identity and manage your data. Of course, manage your digital assets as well. You can You can control and manage all the data source by yourself. Even you can create your own client, verifiable client, client data and to information to manage it. Build your own trust, link different trust source or manage it by yourself. All the personal data, you can control the data, not in the blockchain. Still keep in the different source. You can control and protect that, but the data will not be managed by blockchain, by yourselves in different application. SmartX is integrated IDE to support do the smart contract development. You can easily to build your smart contract, use different language like C#, Python, JavaScript. In the next phase is Go language, Java. Almost cover all the mainstream language. You needn't to learn specific language to design the smart contract. You can just use the language you are familiar with to doing the smart contract development. And we'll private the IDE and error check. Next phase, we will have a security check as well for your to help you the application the development for smart contract. And the next phase, we also have a smart contract market functionality. We'll open there. You can build your smart contract as a module and sell the module, private the service for the other smart contract. You can in charge get a service fee from those kind of modules. So you can build a smart contract market in this kind of tools, SmartX. And Ontology GitHub, currently we're already near 20 projects on Ontology GitHub. It's covered blockchain, SDK, and the hardware and FPGA. And if you are interested in all kinds of, you can join the GitHub and propose your proposal to doing that. For the technical community, they have several approach you can join this. One is propose your proposal. You design your new application or new module. Even you have a new suggestion for the current infrastructure enhancement. You can proposal and doing that. And that is we have a very good support for this part. Not only technical support, document support, and the real reward support. We will have the 100 million ONT just for technical community, 10% of ONT token. That is largest percentage in the public blockchain. So, and we welcome all the technical community to contribute for that. But to contribute for what? We will discuss later about that. What kind of things we welcome you to do on Ontology? So partner, I will mention partner. Of course, Bryan mentioned the core build partners from the most is from traditional, the virtual capital and the different technical service. Why we choose traditional virtual capital to support that? Not only in kind of financial investment, they will link their portfolio in different industry to blockchain industry, to blockchain platform. That is important. Just as we mentioned, we will want to build the bridge to link or impact, support the real business scenario. We want those kind of portfolio to help them to convert or private new decentralized service on the blockchain industry, infrastructure or platform. Now they have a service private. They will private the verification service and the different the security service on that. They will have more coming. Next month we will announce more globally. Finally, we will private globally the service. When you build an application or business scenarios, you needn't care about the basic service, like the identity verification, KYC, AML, and all the metrics or the cloud computing security. You needn't care about all those things. You just focus on your business logic. And some of our partners, even the mainnet have not been launched, already have many applications or even the sub-blockchain are building use Ontology framework. They will be launched with our mainnet soon in next quarter or in this year. Currently, they are building for that. Next round, I have a lot of, they will introduce that one by one. That's all those things is linked to different real business scenario. They are not only issue token. They are support many specific, interesting real scenario. Maybe you also were interested for this part. I don't want to touch details. Keep other speakers to talk about that. Another important thing is OOA. It's kind of incubation called Olympus incubation. The incubation can support not only the technology. We can support technology, business, community, marketing, capital, talents, human resource, even legal system. Why we support private so many service for them? That means we want to you only, just like I mentioned, only focusing on business logic. No matter you have technical background, no matter you have money or not, if you are the professional, you are experts, you are talents in your industry, and you already think about the new business model as a decentralized service, you want to build that. You only focus as one. Ontology will support you for your all the rest things. That is always incubation support for you. Incubation also includes the other two important parts, is Ontology Global Capital. They will support Ontology ecosystem to help you to funding and help you to link to the other partners, ecosystem partner to that. The Ontology Advisor Group, we will have globally have the professional, the advisors in different industry. When you want to do running your business, they can give you very good advisement for advisor then to support you in different the service and different background to with that. And the final topic is what kind of things we are welcome you on do the Ontology. What can you do with Ontology? That's things. First is not just issue token. We don't welcome for that. If you just want to issue a token, you needn't to choose Ontology. Yeah. Even we have this kind of functionality, but we don't want to only do that. So what kind of things you want to do? Think about your own real experience from your different business industry. To think about how the new mechanism, decentralized mechanism, can convert or reform your current business logic, business model, business process. Then you will figure out many new things you want to do. We have listed many examples here, but we are not the professional in different industry. We just kind of example to help you to analyze what kind of things in ontologies, like the multiple source identity system for people, for objects, for content. You can build those kind of trust package to support the risk control for financial service or insurance service, and to build this kind of verification service. And as well, you can build your own distributed data exchange in different industry, in different country, and build your own data exchange based on ontology. And you also can build a decentralized the financial service or insurance service ontology. Just as I mentioned, if everyone has their trust package, that means risk control can be done by yourself. You find that will impact the currently financial process or financial service. Then you can build a new business model for financial service on decentralized service or blockchain infrastructure. Okay. And you can have the virtual content, the article, video, audio, and you can use the distributed content generation and trading system based on ontology. And distributed cooperative system. Many business process actually is cross companies, cross organization, even cross countries. When they do those kind of cooperation, they need to build a lot of vertical IT system to support that. That is high cost and inflexibility. If you want to be a flexible, the cooperation, the platform, the blockchain or decentralized platform is a very good choice. So you can consider your currently business process in your industry to reform the business models and try to build your own the cooperation, the platform in the different the modules. And you will think more about this point, the important thing. And of course, you can build your own Facebook, decentralized Facebook. The Facebook difference is you can easily figure out verify your friends, your community member easily. The background check and a lot of things, reputation system building, and you can build the community on the ontology as well. And the reputation, as you mentioned, the reputation and the rating system. You can, based on your knowledge, based on your industry, to design different rating logic running ontology. you can have your own rating scores to supporting different scenarios. People will trust your logic and willing to use your logic in different business. That's fine, you can build that. All those is just an example. Just as I mentioned, we are not experts in different industry. We just want you to rethink your currently business industry, how to reform, how to help, how to cut the cost, how to improvement the process. You can consider that. So that means we want to build an application to support the real business scenario of ontology. We will come for that. And even if your business become a large-scale business, we also will support you, welcome you to build your own public blockchain in ontology network. And I want to repeat the word we have talked about in our last year in ontology kickoff meeting. It's in our imagination, in the future, we'll have a new word. A lot of platform, decentralized platform like ontology will be built all over the world. And all those kind of platform will link or interact each other, build a new trust world on the decentralized service. In that trust world, we still have the search engine, still have the social networking. The difference is what kind of things or information, data, service you searched out. You can easily verify what is good, what is bad, what is true, what is not. And everyone, even an individual, you have a tool can control and protect, manage your data by yourself. That is a trust world. So that is our version, and welcome more and more blockchain project to join us to build the new world. So finally, welcome to Ontology World, the world for trust. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Lee Jun. We are excited to see the mainnet go live in 5 days' time. So next up, we have advisor of DAD, Bryan Lee. Please welcome him.
Okay, hello everyone. Before I introduce my project, let me introduce myself first. So the picture actually is my son. I think he's more handsome and more cute than me, so I put his picture there. And my name is Bryan Lee. I'm the advisor of the project DAD. And DAD, I will introduce it later. I'm the founder partner of Nock Ventures. Nock Ventures is a crypto fund. And we also have another company named Nock Consulting. Nock Consulting is help our portfolios or ICOs to make the advisory services in Asia area and in US. And this is some of our portfolios over there. So what is DAD? DAD is a decentralized advertising blockchain, actually. It's an advertising protocol, and it also is a project on ONT public chain in the future. And also, DAD is a strategic partner with ONT and NEO. So why do we use the blockchain in advertising industry? Right now, we have 3 major problems in the advertising. First one is fraud traffic, the ad fraud. Another one is data privacy. And the third one is a GDPR problem. So in the advertising industry, it will cost around $16.4 billion per year in the ad fraud, actually. It's around 20% in total. The data is from AdLooks in 2017. And there's 3 major problems. The first one is fake views and the fake click, and also some fake media in the market. Another problem is about the attribution problem. They will try to, put the organic users or the organic installs into the paid users. So this is exactly a real example from my friend. They have all the database in China about the vehicle owners, about the real estate owners. They can buy the data from the bank. They can buy the data from the telco, from all the centralized platform or partners over there. So the data privacy is a quite big problem in current world, especially in the developing countries right now. So in EU, actually, they released a new regulation, it's GDPR. But actually, the GDPR cannot really solve the real problem. If if the user, they don't really want to share their data with the platform, such as Google, Facebook, or Twitter, actually, the advertisers, they cannot really target the right users over there, so they don't really want to spend the budget. It means the platform like Google or Facebook or Twitter, they cannot even deliver the free service to our users in the future. We believe there's another solution over there. This is DAD. We utilize the blockchain in the middle, and we can ask the users to upload their data to the platform, and we can give the rewards as the tokens to them as a benefit. And the advertisers, actually, they can target the right users, and they can get the total transparent, precise, like which media you already target and which users you already target, something like that. So what does the DAD do? Actually, they have the 3 different solutions. The first one is the powerful anti-cheat mechanism. It's totally try to target the ad fraud problem. And another one is the digital identity and authorization solution. This is actually for the second one, for the data privacy issue. The third one is the token economy. We try to share the benefit between the users and advertisers and the platform. So why DAD? This is another problem. DAD, actually, they already have the business model, and they already have the users over there globally. They have their own SDK and API. The SDK has been embedded into thousands of applications globally, such as the news application, the tooling application, and others. They are running over 110,000 advertisements right now online, and they already have the user base over 500 million. And here is the team. Actually, Steven should be the one to give the speech here, but he didn't really get the visa to US, so I have to replace him. Steven is from the advertising industry, and he was working in the multimedia, and Yemobi is a quite famous advertising platform globally. And another guy is Barak. He's also from the advertising industry. He was in the Glispa. It's another famous advertising company in Europe. And such as Michael, he was in working in RIM. It's a famous company as well. And here is investors and advisors team. Feng Bo, he's boss of the Ceyuan Ventures, and also the Tao Feng. He's also the boss of a very famous top fund in China. And like Kai Fuxu and Ding Jie is the founder of another famous crypto fund in China, Alpha VC. And also we have the strategic partnership with ONT and NEO. So if you want to know more about the DAD, you can go to the website. There's a link over there. And actually, this is the start of the project. We will try to make the fundraising in the coming few months. And you can get more information like the white paper in the website. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Bryan. So next up we have CarBlock. Please welcome Chief Partnership Officer Ivan Chong.
Hi, I'm Ivan Chong, Chief Partnership Officer of CarBlock. We're the leading blockchain project around building a decentralized marketplace for car data. Currently, the car data market is driven by new car sales, with a little bit of revenue coming from the aftermarket accessories. But over the next 12 years until 2030, we expect the market to grow for car data-enabled services to $750 billion. Right now, the number is minuscule compared to this. So the question we get a lot is, why isn't this being exploited more today by the people that had the car data? Is it because they're not collecting it? Well, that's not true at all. So basically, all automotive companies are collecting this data today. The most successful of which is GM OnStar, which has been doing this since 1996, so they've been doing it for over 20 years. But every other car company out there has been collecting this car data. So you have companies like navigation companies, in-vehicle infotainment companies, connected car platforms, all collecting this data. And they're collecting an enormous amount of data around car driver behavior, location data, and car vehicle health. But they haven't really been able to monetize it up to this point. So an example is GM, who is the most successful one out there. They've got over 12 million users, but even now, only about significantly less than 1% of the revenue is being generated from this car data today. And even so, there have been people out there that have been able to build companies around car data and successfully exit and make a lot of money off of it. Companies such as Waze, which is focused on mapping, they were acquired by Google. You have companies such as Metromile, which is based on usage-based insurance, which is a very hot topic right now, as well as Carfax, which is based on car vehicle history, also acquired by another company. All had billion-dollar valuations and exits. And the question is, why aren't more companies jumping into this? There's a couple different reasons, but the first one really is that the vast majority of data that's being utilized today is desensitized and anonymized data. The vast majority of the value of the data isn't in this anonymized data. It's really in the user-specific data. And because of this, you could think of it as kind of like how internet advertising works. If you have an ad that's a display-based ad that you put on any kind of website out there, the value is very little. Whereas if you have an ad that is targeted by Facebook or Google, the ROI and the value of the ad itself is extremely high. And we see that happening in the car data market as well. So an example of how people are using this kind of low-value anonymized data today is this transportation report that came from a leading mapping company in China, where they were able to match up certain type of car drivers with location data. And they were able to find out, hey, Mercedes drivers tend to be at airports and high-end hotels, whereas Cadillac drivers tend to be at spas and entertainment centers, which is interesting for user profiling. But when it comes to building applications on top of that and advertising, it's very low value. So this anonymized data is interesting data, not really valuable data from that standpoint. And what's really preventing this from being used is privacy and data ownership issues that you see out there. This chart right here kind of shows you what consumers think about who should hold their data. In this case, comparing where if they would prefer to have car manufacturers hold their data or mobile phone manufacturers hold their data. And in Germany and US, you could see it actually combines less than half the people actually want any of these people to hold their data. And that's really because, first off, in Europe, there's been a lot of regulations around that, making it an issue. It's against law in some places, but also the other issue is that as a user, you're not incentivized to contribute to that. You have no way of controlling who's going to buy that data from the car manufacturers, and you have no way of saying, no, I don't want you to buy it, and you're not actually getting anything out of it. So that's why we launched CarBlock. So our real focus is to put this back into the hands of the users. So we solve the issue from both sides. We enable users to have full control of their data and who they share the data with. So if you want a discount off your car insurance, you have control of your data. You could share it with MetLife or Geico or something like that. But if you don't, let's say you're a poor driver, go ahead and just block it from them. Tell them you don't have it. So you get control of the data yourself, but in parallel, we incentivize you to share the data because you get some kind of earnings off that, but you'll get better products and services behind it. And in parallel, we're also working with service providers and other companies to gain access to this data, something they can't achieve right now. An example is you have Continental out there, which is one of the largest car parts suppliers out there. and they wanted access to the different engine codes that different car companies had, and that's all proprietary. So every single car company has their own set of engine codes that they don't share with anyone else. They don't tell people how to use them, even in a car that you buy yourself. So Continental actually had to go to court, and they sued all these different car companies and got access to it. But we're still in the same situation where one company controls all the data, and you as a user still have no idea who has it and who gets access to it. So we've developed this decentralized marketplace for the automotive industry with the user in the middle. So everything circles around what the users and the data that they generate. And for access to that, all the different people part of the ecosystem have to go to the users individually. Well, we'll definitely have ways to help make that easier, but and to ask the user if they're willing to share this data and how they want to, let them know how they want to use it. And because of this thing that we're developing, even the car manufacturers know this is a gap that actually helps them. Again, I use GM as an example because they've got 12 million users. They're one of the most successful out there. But when you think about GM as a company, they've got over 100 million cars on the road. And they were previously collecting data from all these cars, but they stopped collecting from the 88 million people that weren't a non-Star subscriber because they had consumer backlash. Consumers said, hey, you can't collect this data from me. Even if you anonymize it, we don't want you to do it. So right now, GM actually took a step back and said, we're only going to collect from our current OnStar subscribers to give them value. So even GM is only collecting data from 1/8 of their cars. And GM, as the most successful one, has data from 12 million vehicles out of 1 billion vehicles on the road. So there's a big fragmentation problem that we're trying to solve as well. So as a company, CarBlock is now working with a large number of car manufacturers and other car accessories and companies like that through the Mobi initiative. We're the only blockchain project working with them as a partner, giving us access and negotiating power with them as an equal partner. No other blockchain project has this. In addition, this is Nanda's rapidly growing user base. Nanda is the market leader in aftermarket connected car devices, and they're one of the partners with CarBlock and an anchor data collection provider for us. We've already integrated some CarBlock functionality into their award-winning Zeus smart driving assistant app. And through them, we have a global presence with products in thousands of retail stores such as Walmart, Target, Sam's Club, Best Buy, reaching millions of consumers on a day-to-day basis. Something that no other blockchain project has out there, actually. And this is really one of the first real-world applications for blockchain out there. This is our current progress with suppliers and consumers of data. And we're working on adding more and more partners to this ecosystem, and we expect to have updates towards the end of the year with some examples about how the data is actually being used. But the way to think about one of the steps to this is you drive a car, and Nanda's devices out there, they can tell you exactly when you need an oil change, and they can drive you to go to the nearest Walmart to go get your oil changed or get your tires changed or something like that. So that would be some of the potential applications that we'd be looking at on the car servicing side. So a lot of real-world applications when it comes to car data, and by providing privacy and control of the data to the users, we're able to monetize it in a way that no other company has been able to. To date, we've raised over $15 million from a lot of top investors, both in blockchain and also with different tech-focused investors as well. And the reason why we're here today is we're very excited to partner with Ontology for marketing on community development, as well as on the technical side to discuss how we can integrate our projects together. And that's it.
Thank you. Hello. Yes. Okay. So up next we have Operation Director for Contentors, Xinyan, Wang.
Hello, everybody. I am the operational director of LiveMe, actually, not Contentos, but we are the closest and currently the biggest strategic partner of Contentos. So I'm excited to get here to join the event of the mainnet pre-launch of Ontology, and I want to share you something to help you understand of what Contentos is doing. But first, let me show you something. Please cue that video.
Hey, my name is Devon, and I'm a content creator of cheese. I haven't had any managers or had any experience with MCN simply because I don't trust people, because I see how my friends, my content creator friends, have been mistreated or wronged or had their money taken from them when they didn't need to. What I have had experience with is different applications wanting us to promote their apps or, use them and put our content on them, but they'll pay us different rates based off of our following instead of the quality of our content. And I don't think that's fair. It's like an actor being paid less than they're deserving because they're not as famous as someone else, but their acting skills are so much better. It's an injustice, and it's an injustice for content creators to be treated this way as well. Contentos can help with that.
Okay, that man up there, his name is Wang. He's like one of those so-called ordinary creators, influencers. He has got like somewhere between 15 to 20,000 of followers on Instagram, which is not a lame number, but it's not big also. So sometimes these ordinary creators, they are, get inspiration and do high quality viral videos, but still paid less, relatively less than so-called big names, big influencers. And in contrary, those big influencers, the brands paying them to get them on board, a very heavy budget, but sometimes the conversion is not that good. So I'm sorry this slide just to come out a little bit earlier, but that's what I'm going to say in the next. That's what these content creators, the influencers, can help us to do. Why people in this room should care about those people, their pain points. Because we are, as Mr. Li Jun just said, we are not mainstream enough for now. We need to build that bridge from the hardcore cryptocurrency world, the blockchain world, to the outside world. And the content creators, the influencers, they are going to help us to do that. They are like to explain concepts like what is a wallet, what is a exchange to common people. People like outside the world who is not care that much about the technology part of the blockchain. They still like to be entertained. They like to watch content, sometimes created by the influencers over there. So these people are helpful to do all these kind of how-tos and tutorials to normal people and use the language they can understand and they want to hear about. So Contentos is like want to build a content creation and distribution ecosystem based on blockchain distributed technology. That's what it does. And what it solves, like several pain points, like I said, like Devon said in the video, that like value distribution. Before, in the traditional way of doing content creation, influencers get the payment through centralized institutions like YouTube or Instagram or MCN's agencies, and they are exploited in a way. And all these centralization can do something, at the same time they can do something really good, but they are doing things on their own benefits. So like somewhere 6 months ago from this time, like YouTube is introducing a new policy of monetization. They merely stop all the monetization way for smaller influencers who count on that revenue share. And people complained a lot, and the policy just changed anyway. And somewhere before that, Apple, as you may know, decided to take a 30% cut from every payment happening in their ecosystem. Another thing that hurts those influencers in a way, who earn a living based on fans rewarding economy. But again, they cannot do anything to stop that happening. By introducing a decentralized way of doing the content and attract people's attention in reward of money, we can stop that from happening. Not any other incidents can happen like that. And the other pain point I want to share here is like trust building between different content creators. Video creators, they do collabs all the time, and they are in constant needs for music, for background music that is suitable for create a fancy, funny video. But the musicians, when things comes to music industry, as you can understand, it's always time consuming and it's very complex. Between musicians and all the normal, ordinary influencers, there are multiple layers of brokers, of lawyers, MCNs, agencies, and labels. So if you choose to bypass all these intermediate layers, you will put yourself in a situation that you take all kinds of risks. You cannot trust people you don't know. By introduced smart contracts between, smart contracts can be put into use for multiple ways of users, but the most right one between creators, a musician, and a video creator can very easily reach an agreement and to share the profit automatically done by those smart contracts. And there are many more pain points, and you can, without saying that intellectual property protection is one of them. And for that, I think people in this room are already very familiar with what Ontology is doing, the distributed identity management frameworks. So I will leave that to Mr. Li Jun, and I think all the influencers we are contract with are thankful or grateful for that invention. So enough talking for pains. Let's talk for something happy. That's what the name of contentos means in Spanish is happiness. And building a mainnet is something really time-consuming and energy-consuming, and you need to do it for a very long time frame. But at the same time, we can start to build implementations into apps every ordinary users are using daily, and we have already signed contracts to deal with. Like at the left, I don't know if you can see it clearly, but it's like our daily task system. It's a what we call natural production consumption model we built into the apps we have, LiveMe and Cheese. People can check in there every day and do tasks, multiple tasks, to get rewards on COS, our utility token we get from Contentos. And those tasks including from just merely watch several videos to you create some high quality videos with multiple likes. And when people get COS from things like this, they can put them into good uses. Uses like in the right-hand side, there is a privilege buying. You can buy a small crone on your profile picture. With that, you get the privilege to post videos as long as 1 minute, while everybody is posting like 17 seconds videos. So for a limited time, of course. And like in our in-app game, there is an in-app game called Dance Off. It's basically like a limb syncing kind of game, and people can play with it while recording yourself dancing and share it on the platform with the community. And the other people, they are all doing that dance with their body and nothing else, just to move around your limbs. And if you purchase some feature in this with COS, you can see there are special effects like fire or frozen pieces of snowflakes moving with your hands. It's super fancy to a lot of young users, and it makes your video more attractive to get more viewership, and you can get more likes to get COS back in those daily tasks. And on the right is the most beloved feature we have now in our community, video creating community. It is called rewarding direct messages. Like there's always a need in the entertainment industry for fans to get contact, to get intimate like connection with the influencer you like. But there is only such limited time, limited hours in the day for influencers to interact with their fans. So what we do is like we see that asymmetric pattern between supply and demand of those influencers' time. We put a, let's say, free market solution into it. That means those influencers can put a price tag on their direct messages. And anyone who wants to talk to them should pay COS equal to or greater than the amount of COS there so it can deliver your message to that person. And for the influencer, if you want to get that pot of COS coins to your pocket, you need to reply to that message. So that makes actual interaction done by the influencer who the fans loves and makes some profit for the influencer at the same time. And it moves those tokens from one people to another. So it's like if the message is left unattained, not replied for an amount of time, it just goes back to the original person. So you don't need to waste it if the influencer is not replying you. And this only works for one direction following relationship. Like if you and your friend are following each other, you don't need to pay anything to chat on our app. So even this feature is just launched a very short period of time. We see from data that people love it. Like among all people, all daily active users, we got 10% of them to actually use the features, get COS coins, and among them, like about 1/3 put them into these uses. And we are developing, in real world uses implements features like this. And there is like HQ trivia like quizzy shows we have done in LiveMe, and over 8 to 10% viewership of Taiwan and US version we have done in these two areas have watched and participate into that quizzy show and earn COS and by answering those blockchain technology-based some easy questions. Okay, so we are trying to work with Contentos, with other content apps to start to build a real use world of blockchain technology. And we are starting from here, like 60 million monthly users, to like the other big potential partner of Cheetah Mobile, who has like 600 million plus MAUs. So we are trying to leverage them all into this blockchain world by the real influencers, their daily creative works. So that's it, and thank you.